Welcome, class. This is another session, and we shall be continuing from the basis of Python programming. Yesterday we did a little bit about it, and today we shall hammer upon it and then understand full concept about basis of Python programming. And let's bring out our learning objective for today, so we then know what we are learning for today. Now, by the end of today's session, we should be able to understand what Python concatenation is. So the word here is what? Concatenation. So at the end of the day, you should be able to understand what Python concatenation is and then use it in real life environment. Then secondly, you should be able to accept input and then print out the input that you are accepting. Then you should be able to validate any input that the users are entering. This is a great stuff. And then we should be able to write a simple Python script so that we will be more certain that this is how things work in real life. So at the end of this session, today's session, we should be able to perform these tasks, these 4 tasks. So let's get into our environment. So open your patcher as usual. So this is my patcher, and we are still using the folder in which we created yesterday, which is the Python basis, and then the file in it is data types.py. But if you like, you can create a new file by just right clicking and then click. So let's do it. So let's create a new file. So Python file. So enter the name here. So Python basis 2. Python basics 2. So it means that today is the second time we are learning the basics. So just press enter, and then another window will then open. So you see we are now having another name, file name called Python basics 2.py, and then I said earlier on the .py is the Python extension. So this is the environment in which we shall perform all our tasks. So now, first let's understand what Python concatenation is. And I have a little note that I made for us so that we can do the book 1, and then at the end of the day we'll be certain. So Python concatenation. So, and we have here, which is string concatenation. String concatenation means adding strings together. So using the plus sign here, character, to add a variable to another what? Variable. It means that you have a string, and we all know what a string is. And then you want to add a variable to it, so that, assuming maybe I want to print my name is Tijani, and then I define Tijani, name to be Tijani, and then I want to print out my name is Tijani. Then you have to write a string that will hold my name is. Then you then concatenate it with the variable, which is the name, so that when you print it out, then it will then give you my name is Tijani. So for instance, let's put it into practice. If I declare a variable name, so, and we all know variables now. So name is equal to Tijani. So let's put it in double quotations, Tijani. So now if I want to print my name is Tijani, you write print, the key function there, print. Then you burn the double quotation again. Then you write my name is. Then we want to call this name, which is Tijani. So we want, when we invoke the command, then it should print out my name is Tijani. So you have to go out of the quotation, and then you bring the plus sign, which is the concatenation sign. Then you then bring the what? The variable name, which is name, like this. And then that's all. And when you execute this simple code, then it will print my name is Tijani. It will bring the name here and place it, the Tijani here, and place it in the place of name. So you will not have my name is name. No, you have my name is what? Tijani, because the variable there is Tijani, and that variable is holding what? Tijani. So when you call it, it's not going to print the name again, but it is going to print my name is what? Tijani. So let's execute it and see. So you can see that we have run Python basis 2. So this is our file name. So let's just run it and see. And as you can see, it has printed out that my name is what? Tijani. But then you can observe that the is and the Tijani is closed. There's no space in between the is and then the Tijani. So how can we solve such a problem? So to do that, in between the is and then the closing quotation, that put a space. I hope you people understand. Then when you put the space there, run it, and then everything will be fixed for you. So let's try it again. And now you can see that my name is Tijani. There's no space between the is and then the Tijani. So the sign here, which is the additional sign here, is combining this variable name, which is the Tijani, to the string here, which is my name is. So this is how we concatenate in Python. And this is the whole idea about what? Python what? Concatenation. Adding a string to a variable, or adding two strings or more strings together, is what we term as what? Python what? Concatenation. And we use the additional sign to do the concatenation. So that is our first objective, and this is what you people in turn you're supposed to know. And once you know this, so anytime we are using this additional sign, you shouldn't be surprised, because we have learned something about concatenation. So let's move on to our next objective. That says, now today, like we said earlier on, yesterday we were accepting a lot of inputs and other stuff. We are going to continue into that. But then we want to now validate the inputs that the user will be entering. For instance, if I say print name, if the user don't enter a name, then it should say error. For instance, age is an integer. So as soon as you ask a user to enter his age, and then the user is entering maybe a name, someone's name, then you shouldn't print the name and then tell the person that your age is that person's name. You should tell the person that what you have entered is not the right thing you're supposed to enter. So we are going to use the validation to validate the input that the users will be entering, so that we can understand the concept. So let's look at input validation in theory before we then dive into the practical aspect of it. So now, validation. This is the definition that has been given for us. That says when we accept users' input, we need to check that it is valid. Like I said earlier on, whatever the user is entering should match the information there. And we have so many ways we can validate. The first method is using a flag to validate the user's input. And then we can also use the try and then the accept. The try and then the accept what method to validate users' input. But the techniques in it is this. First, you can validate user input based on the data type, whether it is an integer, float, string, or boolean, or whatever. you should be able to validate. So our attention will be on this one, using the data type to validate users input for now. Then we also validate using the what, the length. Assuming maybe we are asking a user to enter a password. So if the user don't enter up to 6 characters, we should say the password is too short, and for that matter you should enter more than what, 6 or more characters, so that we can set your password for you. That's another concept for validation. Then we also have range check. So maybe checking if a number entered is within the same range. It's just like the length, but in this case you want to see whether it is within the range. For instance, bank account, it is all bank accounts are in a particular range. So if you are entering bank account that exceeds that bank's account range, then it automatically validates and tell you that the account you enter is wrong. So that's why most of these credit cards, if you try to enter any wrong account, then it sometimes oversees the number that you're supposed to enter. And for that matter, we shall be learning how we can do that. But then today our focus will be on the checking the data type. So let's go into the practical session and see how we are going to do it. So we will learn, but then just a recap of concatenation. Concatenation simply means adding variables to strings. For instance, the name here, which is a variable that we declare as a name and assign it to what, Tijani, which is this is a variable and this is a value. The Tijani is a value, but then the name is a variable. So we should know the difference between a variable and then a value. And then the equal sign here is what? The assignment what? Operator. So you should be able to understand these basic concepts because it is going to govern your life in programming. So we have the name, which is the variable, then the equal sign, which is the assignment operator, and then we assign it to a value, which is a string, and that string here is what? Tijani, and we put it in what? Double quotation. And yesterday we said every string should be in what? In either double quotation or single what? Quotation. So if we are concatenating it, then we are going to print my name is, then we then bring the concatenation sign and then bring the variable, which is what? Name. So when you print it, then it will give you my name is what? Tijani. So this is what we talked about concatenation. Now, assuming we are asking the user to enter his name, and then the user enters something, a number, then we should be able to tell the user that what you have entered is a number and not a name. So we are going to do some validation in whatever users what enters. So before we can do that, let's try and then accept users input. So let's try and then just do some practice in it so that you understand what the full concept that I'm talking about. So for instance, assuming I want to print my age. So we say we declare our what? Our variable age, and then we assign it to. Now, if I don't bring this keyword int and just go ahead and say input, so we are asking the user to input. So let's do the wrong thing first so that you understand. Then when we are applying the validation, then you then understand the concept very well. So we are going to do the wrong thing because A is supposed to be a number, but then we are not going to validate it for now. So let's just leave it. Age is equal to input. Then we bring our double quotation and say, please enter your age. Please enter. Oh, my machine is slowing down. Wait. please enter your age. Then now let's go out and then invoke it. So now print. Let's bring the built-in function print, and then what are we printing? The age. So let's put the variable the age. So now let's run the code, and then the user will enter the age, and then we'll see what happens. So let's run the code. Okay, it is asking us to enter the what? The age. So assuming I entered maybe 3 in West, then, or maybe let's just make it Tijani. Let's make it Tijani. So it is printing out Tijani. Meanwhile, you are asking the person to enter what? His age. So, and the person has entered Tijani, and it is printing what? Tijani. And age is not Tijani. So this is not right. So you want the value the person is entering should be what? Validated. So that if the person don't enter an integer number, because age is supposed to be a whole number, it's supposed to be an integer. So if the person is not entering an integer, then it should say that what you have entered is not right. So, and for us to put that validation, we are just going to add int in front of the what? The input here. So let's add the int, then we open bracket, and then we come out here and add another closing bracket. Now let's now run the code one again. We have added into our initial what? Code. So let's run it and see when we enter the same Tijani what we are going to get. So let's run the program. So it is asking us, please enter your age. So if I enter Tijani again, you see you get error. It is saying that trace back, most recently what? Call last. And this is the error. They are saying that this is the directory, drive C, users, admin, PyCharm project, PyCharm basic, which is our folder name, and then this is our file name, Python basics 2.py, and they are saying that line 1. Why are they saying line 1? So if you look at line 1, this is line 1. Age is equal to int, bracket open, input, bracket open, please enter your age. So because we make sure that whatever the users are entering should be what? An integer. So whoever enters something that is not an integer, it should print out an error. And this is one way of validating whatever your users will be entering. And it is very important in programming because this is going to govern your life. And I'm going to repeat this word several times. It is going to govern, because if you cannot validate users' input, then your system will never work properly. So let's run the code and then enter a valid number, like maybe a number like maybe 20, and see what we are going to get. So let's run the code. Okay, so it is saying that please enter your age. So if I now enter my age is 20 and press enter, it has printed out what? 20 out. So it means that we are now what? Validating the what? The user's what? Input. And this is one way of what? Validating users what? Input. I hope you understand. If you have any problem with that, let me know. But then we are going to do a lot about this. So don't worry about it. This is just our first example, and this is how we accept what users input and validate it. So, but then if it is a string, how can we validate a string? So assuming my name is equal to, and before in Python, if you are using Python 3 point something, any version, once it is 3 point something, it is the nature in which you can use the syntax is different from when you are using Python 2 point something. That's the version that I'm mentioning. It could be 2.2, 2.7, or 2 point whatever. It could be 3.5, 3.7, 3 point whatever. And so if it is less than 3, then it means that when you are accepting input, you have to bring the keyword raw. But in Python 3.8 or any 3 point something, that one you need not to bring that keyword raw. You need to just bring your input, the key word there, which is the built-in function input. So input. So then we then say please enter your name. Do it by machine slowing down. Please enter your name. And as you guys can see, anytime I finish my sentence, I make sure that there's a space between the last word and then the last quotation, because if you don't do that and you run the code, it is going to box it together. So we don't want it to box together. We want to, in which there will be a space in between the last word and then whatever you are entering. So let's run the code and see, but then let's print it out. So let's print, and the variable is what? Name. So now let's run the code once again. Okay, so first, and this is also very important, any programming language, so far as I know, when you run any program, it reads from top to down. As you can see, it is asking us to enter our age, because the first line of code is what? Enter your age. So when you enter your age, then it will then print it out and then ask us again to enter our name. So let's enter our age, which is 20. So let's change it to 25 so that we can see difference. So it has printed out to 25, and it is asking us again, please enter your name. So if I enter my name as Tijani, then let's call it, and you can see that Tijani to have been printed out. So that means that in programming, the execution of the code starts from top to down. So if we don't want to print this first line of code, then it's the matter of what? Commenting it, and we learned comments yesterday. So you can either use the single line commenting method or multiple line commenting method. So let me just comment it by using the single line commenting method. So now when we run the code, it is only the name that will be printed. So let's run it, then it will prompt us to enter the name. So it has returned that please enter your name. So if I enter my name to be Mutaro and press enter, you can see that Mutaro has been printed out. So you should understand that when Python is reading your code, it reads it from top to the down, and it is very important. Now the validation here is, because it is a string, we are not adding any value here, but assuming maybe I just want to add str, let's try and do that. Let's add str to it. So let's run the code again. Str stands for a string, and we all know that. So let's run the code once again. So it is asking us to enter our name. So let's enter Mutaro once again, and it has printed out Mutaro. Okay, then let's enter a number and see what we are going to get. So let's run the code, and then let's enter 20, and it has printed out 20, but we don't want it to print out 20 because it is a string, so it shouldn't give us this 20. So, and this is why we say validation is very important, because you can't be asking people to enter their name and then they'll be entering numbers and then it will be taking it. I don't think that is right. So we have to learn how to validate inputs, users what inputs. So it's very important. Guys, welcome back. I was attending to a friend, so sorry for that. So I'm saying, so with regards to validating string, it's a little bit complex. So at this level, we want to take things slow. So I don't want to get into big stuff and then you will get scared and then move away. But then when it comes to validating integers, it is very simple. You just add the int in front of it and then whoever entered the value, it will check to see whether what the person have entered it is an integer or not. So if it is a string, we have to import certain libraries, and I don't want to take you people there because we haven't gotten to important libraries and other stuffs. So let's take things slowly, and then at the end of the day, you will understand the concept very well. But then to validate any input, this is how you're supposed to do it. Just bring, especially if it is an integer, just bring the word int in front of it, and then bring your input function, and then you then bring your string, and then when they enter the value, then it will check to see whether what they have entered is really an integer or otherwise. So now let's try and then write our own script, because in real life we are not going to be doing it in this environment, this IDE. Maybe you will have a file in your file server, so you write the code and then store it inside your file server. Then anytime you want to call it, then you execute it from the file server. So what we are going to do, let's go to our local disk. Let's go to our local disk and then try and create a file there so that we can invoke it from our drive C. So let's open our drive C. So just go to your computer, then or this PC, whatever you have it there. So this is my drive C. So and you should be able to know the directory. So if we want, so put it on desktop for simplicity's sake. Put the file on the desktop. But if you want, you can create a folder and put the file inside the folder. That is the most appropriate way of doing it. So let's just do it together. So this is my desktop. So I'll create a folder. To create a folder, right click on wherever you want to create the folder. Then you see new. Then navigate to folder and then click on folder. Then give the folder a name. So let's give the folder as Python script. Python script. That something of this sort. So press enter. Okay. Now that our file has been created, our folder has been created, let's open that folder and create a file inside that folder. So let's create a file. Right click again, go to new and navigate. You will see text document. So click on text document, and then we can now name our file as what? Let's give it a name as a basic information of a person. So maybe person's info. So person's info. So what I'll do, the persons, all will be small letters, but the info, the first letter, which is the I, should be a capital. That's my naming convention. So naming info dot what? PY. you have to make it, so you have to cancel this extension, the tst, and make it .py, because this is what Python understands. If you don't bring this .py, you are going to have problem with your script. So let's save it that way. Yes, accept the changes, and then let's see what will happen. So you can see our file has changed to a Python icon. You can see it. So now let's right click on that file and open it with, we can use any editor, but then we are going to use a simple editor, which is Notepad. So navigate to Notepad and open Notepad. This time around we are going to do hard coding. So, and to write a Python script, there are certain fundamentals that need to be there. So you need the question mark and the pound. These two keywords are very important. And let me just give you a little description of how Python scripts, the way we write them. I had a script here which I wrote. So you can see we have the pound and then the question mark, and then we have user. The USR stands for user, then bin, the environment. So this is the path. It's just like a path. And then Python 3. Then you add, because we are dealing with Python 3 now, we are not working with Python 2. So at the end of the day, add what? Python 3 to it. So just type in £, question mark, and then /user, /bin, /environment. Then you add Python what? 3 to it. So let's do it together. So we have first our pound, then question mark, then we have what? User /bin /environment. Then we then bring our what? Python 3, like this way. Just press Ctrl S just to receive it, and you'll be cool. So now what we need to do first, we want to let the user enter their full names. When they enter their full name, then the second prompt should be their age. Then after their age, then we then ask them of their address. Then after they enter their address, we can ask of their phone numbers. These are certain, and any form at all you are filling, these informations are very key. So we are going to write a script that anytime you invoke it, then it will ask the user to enter his basic information. And that basic information will be what? His full name, his address, his age, and then his phone number, which is very important. This is a contact information. If you know someone's name and then his full address and other stuff, you can read that person. So let's create a file of that nature. So first we bring the word print, and we just want to let the user know what information he will be entering. So let's say print, and then bring our first opening bracket, and then put the first single quotation and write. And because this editor is not just a normal editor, that's why we are not having that IntelliSense, whereby the method you bring print, then you will see the IntelliSense that will enable you to complete it and then do things. Here you have to do everything by yourself. So we are going to print first. This file demands, so let's make it that way, demands your basic information. Or you can write it anyhow, or you can say please enter your basic information. But we are just saying that this file demands you to enter. It demands you to enter what? your basic information. That's cool. Now, it means that if we first print, this is the information that will show this file demands you to what? Enter your basic information. So it means that it will give the user a clue as to what to do. So we don't want our users to be confused as to what we want them to do. So this is what we want to print first. Then after this, we want to also print a line, a very thin line that will separate what the users are entering and then the information that we just printed out. So let's bring the word again, print, and then bracket open. Let's put the quotation and bring the line like this. So let's put the closing quotation and then close the parentheses. So it will separate this information and then the informations we are demanding from the user. Now the first thing we want to accept is the user's name. So, and we all know how to declare variables. So we know how to declare variables. So let's declare our first variable to be name. So let's declare our first variable. So name. And then we assign name to, because we want to accept the user's, the full name. So let's put it input bracket open. So please enter your full name. So you can say please enter your full name or just please enter what? Your full name, whichever. So enter your full what? Name. Something of this sort. Then you bring this column space. That's the column. That will give a space in between what the user will be typing and then the last keyword. Then you close the brackets. Then once you now have this, you can be copying and then be pasting. So let's just copy this first line that we type in. Let's copy, and you are going to experience this throughout your life. All programmers copy and paste. So you have to learn how to copy and paste. So this one will be our first, the full name. This one will be the age. This one will be the address, and then the last one will be the phone number. So let's change the name here to be age. So and we say enter your age instead of full name here. Enter your age. Then here it will be your address. So we say please enter your address. And then the last one will be maybe phone number. So phone, let's just put phone. So please enter your phone number. Phone number. Now, so this is the 4 information that we need from the user. But then the int, we want it, the age, we want it to be integer. So let's add the validation int, and then bring the first bracket and come and add another closing brackets here. So on top of this, so address could be a text. So combination of what? Numbers and then alphabet. So that one, let's just leave it as it is. But then the phone number too, we want it to be integer. So int. Now, when the user enters this information, we want it to display to the user. So what we want to do now, let's bring another print function so that we can print another line that will separate whatever he has entered and then the output that he or she will be getting. So let's bring another bracket open and then bring another line like what we did in the other one. So quotation and then close it like this. Then now let's then print out the information. So print, the first one is our name. So then the second one we say print age. The third one, print your address. And all these numbers words should match. If you make the name here small n AME and you come here and make the name capital, you'll be getting errors. So the way you declare your variables, when you are calling it, it should be the same thing. Be mindful of that. Python is case sensitive, so be careful with your variable declaration. So the last one is phone. So let's close it. So it means that once he enters this 4 information, the basic information, then it should output this thing to the user. So we can then test the script and see whether it will work or not. So if there's any problem, then we come and then debug that problem. And very soon you'll be learning how to debug problems. So, and to run this script, you have to open your command prompt and call it. So let's go to our command prompt, CMD. So just type the window key and then the command prompt, the CMD, and then press enter. And then let's see what is happening. Let the command prompt come. Now we have to move to that directory because we store it on our what? On our desktop. So we have to go to our desktop before we can find this file name, which is what? Python personsinfo.py. But then it is inside what? A folder. So we have to go into desktop, go into that folder, and then call this file from that folder. Then our script will then execute. So let's go there. So cd means change directory. So in Python, I say in Python, in Windows, cd means change directory, and even in most of the other operating system we use for cd. So cd, so desktop. So just type desktop. Now let's press enter. So let's see our files on the what? Our folders on the desktop. So dir, which is the directories. We want to see all the folders in there. And as you can see, we have Python script. So now let's navigate to what? Python script by typing cd Python script. Then let's press enter. You can see that you now have a directory, and your directory is drive C, user, admin, desktop, and then your folder name. Now we then need our file name so that we can execute the script. So let me clear the screen by just typing CLS, which is clear, so that you people can see proper. Now let's run our script. Our script is what? Persons what? Info. So immediately you press PER, because it is the only information inside that folder, it will automatically complete it for you. So let's run the script and see. Okay, as you can see, it says this file demands you to enter your basic information. Then we have our line that separate enter your full name. So let's enter our full name, which is She Tijani Mutaro. This is my full name. Then let's press enter. Then it is asking us of our age. So I'll put 32. Then it is asking of our address. Always my address is ZB10. So ZB10, comma, Zabzugo. I'm from Zabzugo. So if you don't know, just for information's sake, Zabzugo Taitale. So the northern region. So Zabzugo. Then let's press enter. Then it is now asking us of our phone number. So I'm going to use the international standard 233-241-864311. This is my phone number. So now let's press enter. And guys, as you can see, it has printed out our basics information for us. My name is what? Tijani Mutaro. I'm 32 of age. Then my address is ZB10 Zabzugu, and then this is my phone number. So this is how we write scripts. So when someone is telling you scripts, how to use Python to write scripts, this is how we use Python to write scripts. So you can use Python to write scripts that will tell you the time and date at that moment. So assuming maybe you have a computer, but your time there is not correct. And then secondly, maybe you don't have a phone whereby you can check the time there. And if someone asks you, okay, please, can you tell me a time? You should be able to write a simple script. When someone demands maybe time, you can tell the person. You understand? And I wrote a simple script for that. If you want, I will give it to you. This is my time script. And it is just like what we did. You brand this URL. Then you then say from time. It means that we are importing it. We are not doing it because it also demands importation, and I don't want to take you people from that important libraries. So, but it says from time, date time, import date time. Then we say now, we want the time now. So date time dot now, and then MM stands for month. So, and it is a string. So we want the month, the current month we are in now, and then the day is here, which is DD, and it is also a string. And we want today, and then the year, we want the particular year in which we are sitting now, and then the hours in which we are in now, and then the minutes, and then the seconds. So if you run this script, which I name hello.py, then it is going to give us the current time. So let me run that script too, and then you people will see. So let's go back, because we are in this folder, so we can't be here and run that script because that script is not in that folder. So to go back, you just type cd ... and press enter. It will move you back once. So let's see whether it can understand that. You can see that it has taken us to what? To desktop. So let's see, because this script is inside. Let me check which folder I put the script. So we can check it here, DRR, and see the folders in here. Okay, so let's check inside this ADB pictures. So let's navigate to ADB pictures. So let's enter there, and then let it come. Let me clear the screen so that you people will see what I'm typing. So now let's see the folders inside there, the files rather. So there are, so that it will list everything for us. Hey, I'll play empty stuff. So let's look for hello.py, because I'm installing my stuffs here. Hello.py, H color. Okay, hello.py. This is the hello.py, the file. So it means that the file is inside the ADB pictures. So if I cannot execute the command here. So if I clear my screen again, and then just type hello, but if you press H, at least a minimum of that word, and press tab, it will complete it for you. As you can see, it says hello.py. So now let's run and see the current time here. So let's see whether we are going to get something. Okay, it has returned that today we are on March 24th, 2020, and it is 18:15. So 18:15, and you all know 18:15. It means that we are around 6:15 p.m. here. So as at the time I'm recording this video, it is 6:15 p.m. here. So you can run the same script and then it will tell you your current time. So this is how we write Python scripts, and it's very simple, very straightforward. This is what we wrote. You need this part first, which is the pound sign, and then your question mark. Then you bring the user being environment Python 3. Then what you need to do, these are just things that will make our code look better. So we said this file demands you to enter your basic information. So it gives the person a clue as to what he or she will be doing. Then we ask for the person's full name. We also ask of the age, then the address, and then the phone number. And then after he or she enters such basic information and press enter, then he or she is going to get the same output, which is brilliant. So this is how we write simple Python script. So you can start with writing script. If you don't have watch, just write a simple script. Anytime you want to know the time, then you just run the script and then it will tell you the time. Think of, programmers need to be creative. So you people need to be creative. So think of something that you have been performing every day, all the time. You can write a simple script for that, and then anytime you run it, then it gives you the information that you want. So this is what I want us to learn today, and then maybe we are going to continue writing script and then learn a lot of big stuff. So by the time you finish your entering level into Python, then you can do big stuff. You can write scripts, and even it can start fetching you money at that point, because you can do things for people and then they'll pay you for that. So thank you for watching, and then I hope to see you tomorrow. And don't be greedy. Please like the video and share it to your friends and tell them to join, because we are going to take Ghana to the next level. And whoever is also watching, whether Ghana or outside Ghana, follow up. We are going to bring new stuff, and then everyone will understand how they can use Python to write programs that will help society, because we use informations. We write all these things to help society. If we develop something that can help society, then it's better you don't do it. So anything at all, you'll be using this knowledge, you'll be using it to help society, and it will be fetching you money alongside. So subscribe and share it to your friends, and then I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching.